I'm Reb. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. Here I share art making in the form of drawing, painting, printmaking. Most of it is in a sketchbook, journals, and things like that, which I usually share monthly. This time is a little bit different because I recently switched to a different journal sketchbooking situation. So settle in because I have a lot to say in this video. So this is my sketchbook slash journal slash planner. I have been using this for about 2 months now. If you want to see the video about how I made this, I will link it up here, but the long and short of it is I scavenged some leather and some other materials and put this together myself. I wanted a system where I could carry everything together because I was tired of carrying like multiple books and my backpack was getting really heavy. So this is it. We are going to talk pros and cons and technical stuff first, and then we'll get into kind of feelings about everything. Let me give you just a really quick overview of what's in this journal system. I've got the pouch that goes behind the bands and has some pockets and a zipper pocket that holds my drawing materials and my writing materials. I've got my sketchbook, which is just a thin craft paper blank page notebook. My journal, which kind of same, except this one is lined. And then my planner, which is just a cheap, like, monthly kind of calendar. This one is for 2 years, so it'll probably be in here for a while. And then I've got this small folder that just has some stickers, post-it notes, and things like that. So that's kind of all what's in here. Alright, so pros. I have really enjoyed having everything all in one place. I feel like it makes me more inclined to kind of flip back and forth if I'm journaling and I suddenly have an idea and I want to sketch it, or vice versa. Also, having my planner in here helps me slightly feel more organized, though I still have a long way to go in that sense. I think that the smaller sketchbook is nice because I feel like I filled it up a little bit faster, even though this one still has a couple of pages left in it. But we will tour that in a little while. I also have gotten tons of compliments on this sketchbook slash journal system. The pocket in the front that I added has been really convenient. It's nice to have my kind of most used materials in here, handy, ready to go. Though I will say there are some cons with this as well, but we will talk about that a little later. The pocket in the back has also been pretty helpful, just to have a little bit of like extra space to write things down or put it on a post-it note if I need to kind of move it around in my sketchbook or in my planner. And I'm really trying to get more into the ephemera sticker stuff. I recently got this like really cool book of stickers, and I need to stop being so precious about it and just use the flippin' stickers. So hopefully more of that soon. Okay, so moving on to cons. First, I will say I am not in love with the paper in these little cheap craft paper journals. The paper is very thin, the ink really bleeds through. It doesn't really handle wet media well at all. I can paint in it. The pages do get crinkly, and I don't mind a crinkly page, but really the bleed through is probably the biggest problem. The journal, same thing, ink bleeds through. I was really looking forward to like using my fountain pen to, you know, do all of my journaling and stuff, and that just hasn't been the case because of the bleed through. I honestly kind of miss my like Royal Talons like sketchbooks with those like thick pages, but I will say, and this is probably more in the pro side, it has encouraged me to work outside of my sketchbook a lot more, so that has been kind of a good thing. On the journal, I wish that the pages, or the lines rather, would be a little bit closer together. I can write very small and would prefer to write small, but the big lines like kind of make me write big, which means less space to write. And also overall, like all together, this book is pretty hefty. It's not like something that you can just chunk in your bag, you know, just any bag. She's a thick girl, so I don't envision myself adding any more books to this, even though I probably could if I wanted to, and have slightly considered putting together some sort of like watercolor sketchbook or something like that. But yeah, that would definitely make it thicker. The pouch also adds a lot of bulk, so kind of in the con area. It's funny because it holds, you know, quite a bit of stuff, but it also never holds enough. I feel like I never have all the things that I want. I kind of see why people have like whole journaling bags, but I don't think that I'm ready to get to that level, at least not yet. So, as far as journaling goes, I do feel like I have had enough space in this journal to have like one full page as a spread for each day. I don't feel like I'm necessarily running out of space. I am curious as to how people balance like journaling and sharing their journal stuff like on YouTube. Personally, I've never felt inclined to like pause and read somebody's personal journal entries. I mostly just kind of look at the overall layouts and, you know, the drawings and things like that, the stuff that I think they intend to share. But in this one, I just don't feel like there's a way to share it comfortably. I think in the future I may make like some sort of template where I can kind of confine the like personal stuff to like one spot on each page so that it would be easier to cover if I needed to. On a much more personal note, this month has been extremely emotional. I am so grateful to have had a place where I can express a lot of like really difficult feelings, but it has basically made this journal unshareable. Never have I ever wanted to put a month of my life behind me so bad. I didn't even do the 4 faves that I usually do at the end of each month because I, to be honest, cannot even flip through this without bursting into tears. So I'm sorry that it's going to be sort of an abbreviated journal tour. I did snap some pictures of some of the drawings that I made in here, and I'll just kind of post those so that you guys can see them, but I probably won't go into the story behind them or explanations or anything like that, because it's, like I said, just too personal. So, looking forward to leaving this month behind and putting in my new month. Most of these little drawings are what I call moodometers that just kind of show my like overall feelings about the day. The rest are a combination of things that I cooked or places that we went, and a lot of silly toddler moments. I did a lot more writing in this journal, but for the next one, I think I want to take a little bit more of a balanced approach. I also really enjoyed kind of intermingling the text and drawings, so I think I want to try to do that more often. And also, I really want to include more of like little snippets of things from my day and stickers. For March and April, I am manifesting better days. I covered this in little silly stickers. I drew in some patterns and some stuff on the back. And I am looking forward to hopefully returning to regular programming. I think that I will be using every single page in this. Last month I ended up being shy a couple of pages, so I just glued in some extra pages. But I think if I start from the very beginning, the very front cover, all the way to the back, I should have enough space for all the days. Maybe shy of one. Maybe I'll even introduce a skip day. I think everybody can use a break from their routine or a mental health day, so to speak. So this is my March and April journal, and I'm going to go ahead and pop this back in there in case anybody's wondering how that works. Basically, you just slide it into the bands. So that feels good. That feels good. So back to the sketchbook, and I am going to start out by saying that this sketchbook tour is probably going to be a little underwhelming, which is why I'm not making it its own thing. Honestly, I feel like I was kind of finding my stride a little bit with this paper, and this ended up turning into more of a place to kind of ideate or do some like meditative like sketching and things like that, instead of like somewhere for really like finished work. So you're not going to see anything in here that's like mind-blowing. So let's get on to the sketchbook tour. I usually start my sketchbooks with a little what do you call this, self-portrait. Generally speaking, I do a little bit more detailed work, but for whatever reason I just did this on a post-it note over some like randomly scrawled ideas that I had. And honestly, I feel like this kind of sums up my last 2 months. So this spread is part blank page syndrome, part I meant to go back and do some more drawing. We went to the park and I was supposed to do a bunch of like drawing while I was there, but I have a toddler, so that didn't happen. These were sticker ideas that some of them I've already drawn a little bit more of a detailed version of, but I'm still working on quite a few of these. Just some more like really light kind of putting an idea down type stuff. Same thing here, very messy page. Some of these did turn into stickers that I made for the benefit of immigrant communities, which that's another video that I need to make and will be coming up soon. This was just some sketching that I did out at a sculpture garden, a little bit of like urban sketching, some scribbles that really don't amount to much of anything. These are, I wouldn't necessarily say sticker designs, though I do feel like probably could be stickers, but these are more just, I was bored in a meeting and this is what I ended up drawing. So a lot of bleed through happening here, so I didn't draw on this page. Just random sketches. This one's a little bit funner. I went to the museum for Fashion Fusion and drew a couple of the runway looks, and then went up to the Frida exhibition, which was awesome. I drew some stuff from that exhibition just with my Fuda pen. Again, a lot of bleed through with the pen, so didn't draw on this page. This one, I guess you could kind of call this like a little bit of a meditation. I was just drawing different trees for no particular reason. My chickens, which you can hear in the background right now, they are certainly trying to tell me that they want snacks. But yeah, just kind of drawing my chickens as they're pecking away, and while my son was outside. This one is acrylic marker. Acrylic marker did pretty well on this paper. Wasn't really any bleed through, so that's good to know. This kind of turned into a sticker, or not a sticker, a print that I still need to post. I am very behind this month. More just random drawings. Disregard the text on this. This is Neocolor and acrylic wash. I think I painted the acrylic wash on the bottom and then the Neocolors on top, and that worked pretty good. This sketchbook definitely was okay for dry media, like colored pencils, Neocolors, Blackwing, that kind of stuff. Colored pencil, ink. This page is just a mess of different materials. I think I had some acrylic ink that I was kind of wiping off onto the page, and then I drew on top of that with Neocolors and colored pencil. I kind of like it. It's very messy, but I still kind of like it. Same thing here. I think this was a rainbow pencil, or it was a bunch of colored pencils, and then Neocolor on top of that. This was just like a little sketch that I made while me and my son were at a little park. They had this really cute little pumpkin playground theme that was adorable. Just kind of random drawings. I think I was cleaning off my palette with this one. This one is just a mood. This is Neocolor, that I was just drawing like random stuff. I was watching a video with like, one of those like ASMR calm, no talking videos, and they had a bunch of animals on it. So I was drawing the animals from that video. Sitting in line waiting for to make my order at Starbucks. This page was fun. This was a little garden planning that I had done. Sometimes I do use my like sketchbook for planning things out. So a lot of stickers and post-it notes in here just to kind of put more information down. And I kind of liked using the sketchbook like this, so that will probably be a thing of the future. This I was, I think, cleaning my palette and put down these squares and meant to go back and draw on them, which I may still do, but I didn't. This was a day that I was out in the garden. My son loves to play in the dirt. so it does give me a lot of time to just like sit there and watch him and draw. So I drew the tractor twice. This one's kind of like a continuous line drawing. This one, you know, I went over it. This was me kind of just drawing my future garden. My garden right now does not look like this. It is all dirt, but hopefully soon it will look something like this. And then my dog. Random sketches of my son in the bath. I do that a lot. This was a trip that we took to the Brazoria Wildlife Refuge. I had planned to do a lot more sketching that day. I wanted to do some like nature journaling and things like that. But unfortunately, there were a gazillion giant salt marsh mosquitoes, which those things are massive and aggressive. So not a lot of drawing got done that day. This was me just kind of playing a little bit with the glass dip pen and the fluorescent ink. That fluorescent ink had a lot of feathering that was happening, but honestly I kind of like it and may do some more drawing with that in the sketchbook, even though it bled through really bad. Here I was doing some planning for my 100-day project, which is underway. I've posted a couple videos about it and I will link them over here. But I'm doing basically 100 days of embroidery. I've never really done embroidery, so I'm basically learning from scratch. So bear with me if you watch that video. We went to the library so that I could vote, and I drew these volunteers that were outside. I was gonna write some like snarky stuff about their shitty opinions, but I ended up actually liking the drawing, so I didn't. Here I was doing some planning for my next journal cover, and then it evolved into just like random kind of spring drawings, as it tends to do. And just some like little random sticker ideas and things like that. I do have like a couple pages left in this, which I'll probably finish up, but that's pretty much the tour. So like I said, nothing really like impressive in this sketchbook, and that's okay. I'm not mad about that. I would much rather get some great ideas down and then make some work on real like good paper that I can actually use and, you know, sell if I want to or something like that. So that is basically the 2-month journal slash sketchbook slash planner tour. I'm not even going to bore you with my planner because all it is just office work dates and birthdays. But if you've enjoyed this, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And if you are journaling slash sketching, I would love to see your stuff. So link yourself down at the comments so that I can follow you. Until next time, I will catch you guys on the next video.